So somebody who's comfortable using a web browser and knows this language and can read the English things and translate them can go through step by step typing what they think should be the right translation for it. You can see down here that we have a suggested translation for this string, and it's actually, I didn't know this, but it turns out it's actually quite a good example, if I understand correctly, because this is the right translation, but it's in simplified Chinese, not in traditional Chinese. Is that right? So, what's happened with this string is Launchpad is trying to save people time and doing translations of programs. So if it sees a string that's similar in a different context, or if it sees a string that it is in a language that it knows is somewhat similar, it will put that up, and that may give people a bit of a clue and may help them translate more quickly. The other thing you can see here is this control, where we build up a bit of a social effect that you might get people who are very enthusiastic about translating, but they're quite new to it, they don't know the conventions, and this lets us have a team of people who are experts on this particular language or this project, and they build up guidelines that can give feedback to people who go along with this. So if you'd like to try this, you can just go to launchpad.net, register an account for yourself, tell it what languages you speak, and then pretty much click in and it will start suggesting things that you can translate. If you have your own project, then you can do some more advanced things like be part of the team that's focusing on translation to a particular language or translation of a particular set of programs, setting up guidelines to make sure all of the translations are consistent, or you can enable translation on your upstream project. If you've done the work as far as installing text and so on to make it possible to translate, then Launchpad can pretty much automate the process of getting people sending translations for you. If it's in a ZAR branch or if it's in CBS version or Git, we will pull those strings out automatically and put them onto the website for people to get started with. So, if we move on to the second of the three topics I was going to look at is bugs. But Windows has a lot of bugs. It has, at the moment, 60,500 bugs. That's quite a lot. It's very important that when a developer sits down to do some stuff on Monday morning or Saturday night, he's not got to look at 60,000 bugs. So we have lots of bugs, but none of them are mine, so it's okay. And why do we have so many bugs? It's not good when it's just really buggy. You know it's a good system. It's that we're very open to feedback from users. I've reported hundreds or thousands of bugs in Linux. I don't think I've ever reported a bug to Microsoft because it's like talking, I'm sure they care, but it's a bit like talking to a wall. You won't really know if they fix your bug. They might say thanks, but you won't really know. They can say much more stuff to us and they can see what happens. We can build up a virtuous cycle. But this makes it harder too. There's a flood of bugs. 400,000 bugs are coming through Launchpad in the 4 or 5 years since we've been using it. It's hard with that many bugs to know what to do next. It's because of the way Linux systems are built from combining software from all different sources. We get a lot of fragmentation and noise. If somebody's excited about a blueprint, they want to be part of it. It can be hard for them to know how to help and how to help in the right way. And it's also important that once we fix something, we get it out to the users. So if you're going to start with this, if you are doing a little upstream project, again, you can register. If you've already been tracking bugs somewhere else and you want to try it out, you can import the bugs from another bug tracker. There's also a test environment called staging where you can just play with the system and see if you like it without having to install it yourself or without having to commit to use it. Worth also mentioning that basically everything in the Launchpad database is exposed over a web services API. So you can write scripts that look at all of the open bugs and make some adjustments to them and Ubuntu in particular has written a lot of these things that help them automate their particular processes. One of those scripts is a program called Apport, which is up on Launchpad, launchpad.net/Apport. This is a automatic bug reporting and feedback tool. So you might have seen if you're running Ubuntu, if a program crashes when you're running a beta, you'll get a little explosion icon that says, or you'll get a little dialog coming up saying, you know, the program Firefox crashed. Do you want to report this? That's the code behind that is Apport. And this is installed in Ubuntu and active during testing phases of the distribution, but you can also use it upstream. It automates a lot of the work about getting good bug report data from users so that people who want to test your code can be more effectively engaged with giving this back. It lets you capture the technical data that you need to know what is causing this problem without needing to explain to every user how to go about debugging stuff. Another aspect of helping people out with it is that we make a separation here between bugs as such, like bugs that need to be changed in the program source code, and things that the user is having a problem with that may or may not turn out to be a bug and may or may not turn out to be a new bug. And this is what we call Launchpad answers. And this is this has been very popular. So it's under this answers tab over here. And you can see here people are asking questions. There's a nice facility by which you can say, okay, this is actually a bug and convert it across, or in the other direction, if somebody's asking, if somebody thinks they've seen a bug, but it's actually just they don't understand, you can flip it back the other way. One interesting thing here is that you can do this in languages other than English. So we have a kind of matchmaking or a social facility again, where not all of the Ubuntu developers by a long measure speak Chinese or can read Chinese, but there are enough people who can read Chinese and want to help with Ubuntu user support. That if a person comes in and asks a question in Chinese, we'll match them up. They can answer it, we'll get more information, and if it is actually a bug that needs to be escalated to a developer who doesn't speak Chinese, they can act as a liaison there. And yeah, it's a detail, but it's a nice one, but at the end of this you can say thanks, that solved my question, and you get a nice little sense of cooperation and friendship between people going through this together. So I mentioned before, we have this thing